Happy Tuesday to you, and welcome on in to WagerTalk Extra. I'm fresh off a Monday off here at WagerTalk, and reason being, no, it wasn't a national holiday. It was lament my sorrows from my Philadelphia Eagles losing day. So I decided I need a little mental health day, and then how am I really going to get myself back up? It's bringing on Andy Lang to talk some PGA, because I'm Dan Alexander, and we're here to remind you, no matter what sport you're cashing on, you are still cashing. Football is done, Andy. We're going to turn the page. Happy that I have your bright smiling face to cheer me up, because the only other thing to cheer me up was hitting another 5%er for you in NFL. Welcome to the show here today, brother. How's it going? The ATM that was
Eagles,
5%
fly.
in the first half specifically.
Yeah, the Eagles team total first half continues to amaze. I'm sad we don't have that anymore, but yeah, we got a really good golf tournament this week. We turned a profit once again. That's all 6 tournaments in 2023 that were profitable. No better time to jump on right now. This year is off to a fantastic start, and I see no reason why it's going to slow down.
Well, why don't we get the show right off to a fantastic start? No dawdling needed here on WagerTalk Extra. Let's kick it off with our players that can trip you up. Start here for the Genesis Invitational, and we got 2 of them today. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Andy Lang. Who are we looking at first to maybe not be a parlay piece for us?
Yeah, well, one of the things that people do, they look at golfers to bet on. I'm going to look at some big names that I think can trip you up and are a little overvalued. I'll start with one of the biggest names, Rory McIlroy. He had a win 3 weeks ago over on the DP European Tour, and he really surprised me by saying he did not feel like his swing was dialed in, and that he didn't think he played all that well. That was an easy field, an easy course that he is familiar with, and he loves it over there. And it turns out he was right, because his game was not up to his standards last week. He finished 32nd in a loaded field. He was 53rd in driving accuracy, 38th in greens and regulation, 56th in putting. They're not awful numbers, but when you're predicted as a top 3 favorite, you are not returning any value. Rory has great course history here. He's finished 10th, 5th, and 4th in 3 out of the 4 years, but he missed the cut the other year, and he's priced as a top 3 player in DFS. And for winning odds, I can't trust him. I think his game might be a little bit off. I will not be betting on him this week. So Rory, I think, is a player that can trip you up. Second player is Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay has really stumbled out of the gate this season. He finished 16th at the Tourney of Champions. That's only 37 golfers played in that one. He was 26th at the American Express, and then he missed the cut by 1 at the Waste Management. Those are terrible numbers for a golfer of his caliber. I'm not sure what's going on. All of his strokes gained stats are down. So it's not one specific part of his game. Although if you want to focus in on his putting, he's only plus 0.20 in putting. That's a real problem. That is outside the top 70 in this field. He has not finished better than 15th the last 4 years here. He was 33rd last year. So at this price, so many better options, because there's a lot of big names playing for DFS and for head-to-head matchups. So I would avoid Patrick Cantlay as my second player that I think can trip you up this week.
So we got 2 players to maybe stay away from. We're going to talk a player that you want to maybe find some value on. But first, I just am wondering, Genesis Invitational, we're now wiping out the hangover from the Waste Management Open from our eyes. I actually had a buddy, by the way, who was at the 16th hole, electric videos that he was sending me all day long. I don't know how he got up there, but man, that's a bucket list for me. But as we turn the page and look to this Invitational, what can we kind of expect from this course? What can we kind of expect from this event before we get into some more actionable info?
Well, this is a course that, if we're just talking about the course, it's got some really difficult aspects to it. If you're wayward with your tee shot, you have a chance at being behind trees where you're just going to have to chip out. That's not every fairway, but there are quite a few of them. So driving accuracy is important. This is a very difficult course to land your approach shots close to the hole. 5th most difficult course last year in terms of proximity to hole. These greens can be really fast. Putting within 10 feet can be difficult. And because of the speed, the speed for your chips and your short game need to be so dialed in. It's very unforgiving. You have to take advantage of the par 5s here. It is everybody that wins destroys the par 5s. You're going to get 12 chances at playing a par five, I think you got to be 9 under to have a chance. There are too many loaded golfers with the firepower to put up a lot of birdies and possibly an eagle or two on these par fives. So unless you take advantage of the par fives, you're going to be way behind. There's a few golfers to take a look at who are playing this week who are great at par fives: Adam Scott, Will Zalatoris, Tony Finau, Fitzpatrick, Morikawa, and of course Tiger Woods is making his debut. I wanted to fade Tiger Woods, but just the books know it, and they've got him priced like minus 200 to miss the cut. He's head to head against Luke Donald, who's way past his better days are behind him. It's going to be a very, very fun field just because there's so many big names and so many big personalities, but you got to take advantage of the par fives and you got to put the ball in the fairway to take advantage.
That's Andy Lang's thoughts on the event this weekend. Why don't you hop in the comments and give us yours as well? This is one of my favorite segments simply because we get to see Andy giving blue steel. It's DraftKings Darlings time. And Andy, I'll turn the mic over to you. Who are we eyeing as a potential long shot? Nice little value play down the board a bit.
Sure. I think the difficult part in DFS this week is actually those middle tier golfers. I normally I like to find value in these guys that if you're on DraftKings kind of between, this 8,000 and 9,000. I just don't find a lot of value in that. So I'm kind of looking at putting some more guys in around the 7,300, 7,400 range. And I'll start with Kyung Hoon Lee as my biggest DraftKings darling this week. He's 7,400 on DraftKings. He was 42nd last week, and he missed the cut his previous tournament before that, 27th and 7th. What I love about him is his course history here. Experience is key on this course. If you know the ins and outs and the minute details of this course, you can have success. He's played here each of the last 4 years. He's made the cut all 4 years, and he's finished 26th, 66th, 13th, and 25th. So 3 out of 4 years, this guy has finished 26 or better. I would start your lineups with KH Lee and build from there. And on wagertalk.com, I have a free digital download that's got my best DFS lineup. All you do is go to my profile page, click on digital downloads. It's got a full write-up with stats. It's got a free bet. It's got players that can trip you up, and it's got my entire best DFS lineup for this week.
Yeah, and while you're over there downloading that free DFS lineup from Andy, why not hop in with his 4% golf pack? Because they've turned a profit every single time he's put them up this year. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ride with Andy Lang on golfwt.buzz/AL. Now, the part that everybody loves, Andy, it's where you give some free nuggets here for the folks. We got a free bet for you because it is Valentine's Day and we love you after all. So, Andy, I'll turn it over to you. We got a head-to-head that you can still get it plus money as we're recording here on a Tuesday. What do you got for the folks?
Yeah, Dan, you mentioned a great start to the year. 17-6-1 in my head-to-heads and props. So we're really, really seeing golf well. And I mentioned fading Patrick Cantlay in players that can trip you up. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to take Sungjae Im over Patrick Cantlay. I don't understand why Sungjae Im is the underdog here. I think maybe we're just getting a really nice price on it. When these lines first came out, Sungjae was the underdog. So in 2023, Sungjae Im is plus 2.04 total strokes gained. Cantlay is plus 1.29. That's a huge difference. Cantlay drives the ball farther than Im, but this is not a course that requires you to be a bomber. It requires accuracy off the tee and taking advantage of the par fives. They tied at this tournament last year, and they've played in 3 tournaments together this year. Sungjae Im has finished ahead of Cantlay in all 3 tournaments. I still think Cantlay's fumbling around. He's not dialed in. He's not 100%. Sungjae Im looks like he's off to a great start this year. I expect him to keep up his momentum. So give me Sungjae Im at a great price over Patrick Cantlay.
Absolutely. Love to see it. Also would love some actionable info here to start off the week in a sport that Andy has been seeing very well. So, Andy, I'm glad I had you here on a Tuesday because you almost made me forget that the Eagles gave up not 1 wide open touchdown, but 2. wide open touchdowns. So, hey, you almost brought me back, and now I'm going to go back, slip into my strong depression that I'm rocking into. But we have all week with Andy Lang. We're going to talk UFC with him. We're going to talk NASCAR towards the end of the week. So he'll be here to cheer me up all along the way. Remind you, head on over, grab that golf pack. We've mentioned it multiple times. I mean, until, we continue to not cash on these, I don't see why you don't continue going over to wt.buzz/AL. And even then, the bounce back is coming. Andy, always a pleasure, man. We will talk to you tomorrow. And that does it for us here on Wager Talk Extra. Best of luck with your plays this coming week. And as I said, locked and loaded tomorrow. We're going to have Nick Borman's thoughts on this PGA event. We're also going to talk to the Irishman, maybe talk a little boxing, maybe yes, rugby for you, maybe some soccer on the pitch. Who knows? You'll have to turn in tomorrow. Wager Talk Extra right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Until then, best of luck, and we'll see you next time on Wager Talk Extra.